Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to natural and elemental magic. So we just did the trees and how important they are when it comes to magic and the relevance of them. And now we are moving on to herbs. And yes, herbs are used in cooking. We all know this. But they are very significant in magic. They've been used for many generations, including the wise women and even doctors back in the day. They would turn to herbs. And yes, there's lots and lots of different herbs. So I'm not going to mention them all in here. You have to be more careful as well if you're harvesting herbs that are growing along the roadside or a derelict industrial sort of estate or anything, because they can become contaminated with heavy metals and pesticides. So it's always best to grow your own fresh herbs. And if not, there's many places available out there that sell fresh dried herbs for magical purposes. Not cooking, for magical purposes. Freya's Cauldron is one of the most, I can say, significant place that I've used. It's very good, Freya's Cauldron. It's an online store and she sells everything that you need for magic. Anyway, herbs function like amulets and talismans. Honeysuckle, Lanicera corpularium. It's hung around windows and doors on May Day. It's known as a benevolent charm. And groundsel, Simpson, Grundate Swallow, it's also known as, not that I've ever heard of it as Grundate Swallow before, but still, it's a name out there that is used, as Senecio vulgaris. It's traditionally worn as a charm against the evil eye. It's sort of burned as a purifying smoke in houses, usually at midsummer. If they're hung over windows and doors on Midsummer's Day, bunches of St. John's wort is usually hung with them, as this cleanses and protects the home, or the house, or a room. It depends how the person uses it. But in general, it is a cleansing, negative, clearing perfection together, if you put them both together. The flowering yarrow, the millifoil, old man's pepper, Aclimifolium is what it's known as, can be strewn across the thresholds of houses. This is believed to prevent bad people from entering. It is said that a cushion filled with yarrow cannot be sat on by a person having evil intentions. They will sit maybe to the left of it or to the right of it, but for some strange reason, as noted back in ages, if someone actually had a yarrow cushion and they had bad intent, for some strange reason, they wouldn't be able to sit there. My favourite one, the mandrake, Mandragora officinarum. It's a member of the botanical family that includes the tobacco, potato, and the woody nightshade plants. It has a strangely shaped root that resembles a human form, and in former times it was believed to shine at night like a lamp. Because of this and its medicinal qualities, it is an important plant in traditional natural magic. The roots have two forms, man and woman, mandrake and womandrake. Womandrake roots are used as charms by women to promote childbearing, to bring prosperity, and to give a lover the object of his or her heart's desire. Magically, mandrake roots are used in ceremonies to find out secrets or to locate lost property. In former times, it was considered extremely dangerous to uproot a mandrake plant, because to do so was believed to bring certain death within the year. Magicians devised a technique to overcome this. They tied a dog to a plant and caused the dog to uproot it. In doing this, it was necessary to stop up one's ears because the plant gave a hideous shriek when uprooted, and hearing the shriek was very dangerous. So yeah, it is said to do that, and it does give off a little squeak when it's uprooted, but it's not a scream. I'm sure if someone's seen, for example, Harry Potter, and the mandrakes in Harry Potter, they scream. Well, the mandrake doesn't actually do that in real life, guys, but it does make like a squeaky shriek noise. Not very loud, it's actually pretty quiet, but it is said to be bad luck. Now, I've never uprooted a mandrake, I've never pulled a mandrake out of the ground, and I would never do so because it's just known as bad luck in what I was taught. However, it's not quite what you think. You don't hear this magnificent scream when you take it out. It's just like a little squeak. Today, this danger seems past. People grow mandrakes and harvest them like any other plant, seemingly without ill effects. As a charm, though, the root of the black bryony, this is the Tamus communus, is often substituted for the mandrake. Black bryony has the same humanoid appearance, but unfortunately it is poisonous. And there are some other herbs that are used. Your normal everyday herbs such as like basil, that's used as protection. It's used for bringing prosperity. It's mainly used in prosperity spells, actually, to be fair. That's the most common use of basil in the way that we work. There's thyme, there's rosemary. Rosemary is known as the woman's power herb. So, for example, if you wanted, let's say back in the day, as it was a man's world, shall we say, and men really did dictate quite a lot, didn't they? It was said that a wife could hang rosemary around her house and she would sort of be listened to by the male and have somewhat authority in the household. It's known to sort of promote the woman's energy and bring forth the power of the woman, so to speak, rosemary. Even though it is used for protection, cleansing, prosperity, the main thing of what I learned is that rosemary it's a woman's plant. It is used to emphasize her powers as such, and the witch's power, of course. Now, there's other herbs like poisonous herbs that we tend to stay away from. So anything poisonous we do tend to stay away from. I do have poisonous herbs myself. I use gloves when I harvest them, and I definitely don't sniff them up my nose or anything. That is very bad. Don't ever do that. Such as vervain, that can cause quite irritation. It really can, but it's really good for protection purposes. And it's also used in dark magic, so that's why I have that. But again, you have to be careful, obviously, when you are harvesting some herbs. In my magic, a lot of plants are used, such as flowering plants, like roses is a very big thing. And we would actually use roses and the rose petals as well. Not just in love spells, for like, I don't believe in creating love spells because I don't think you should mess with free will. Love spells work, they definitely work. However, you have to remember that when it's a spell, it's not real, okay? They have been spelled. So you're not getting that real love that you really want. And so I won't mess with things like that. But it is used for self-love and for sort of bringing love into our hearts and purity. So you have to remember little things like that. You can definitely get lots of books that tell you all the different herbs and things, but I will definitely do a longer course on this, where I can name you quite a lot of the herbs and what they do. If you like, it would, it kind of helps, I guess, having that knowledge. Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode, and of course, many blessings.